Bobcat Nation, Al Weston here. It's time once again for the Bobcat Coaches Corner. And we're winding down here, Joe. Only got a couple of these left. I'm sure you're broken up about that, right?
Sure am, Al. I'm going to miss you in the off-season.
Tell me a little bit. Let's look back. We'll go to that Peach Belt Conference race a couple of weeks ago. Tell me a little bit about the women, and their finish took 7th, I believe.
The women came in 7th out of 10. We were sort of hoping for a higher finish, but we couldn't ask any more of the women's team. I was looking at the numbers, and 4 of our 5 counters improved over their last time running at that Aiken course. So the women's team ran better. It's just that the competition, the Peach Belt Conference, is pretty stiff. And
I know you had some illnesses and things that you were battling as well. As it seems like every year, once we get to this time, somebody's got something going on. Again, Allison Loans, second team all-conference for us, and it's the second time in her career that she's done that in as many tries. Tell us a little bit about Allison's run that day.
Allison ran a great race, as Allison has done all season long. As a matter of fact, we can go back to starting with the second race last year. I believe Allison has led the Bobcats in every race, and she just gets better and better. And she's only a sophomore, so I'm really looking forward to next year already, even though this year has one more race to go. Yeah,
you do have a lot of returners coming back, but we still do have at least one more race to come. Let's look at the men's side now. 5th place in the Peach Belt Conference, and tell us about how the fellas did.
Well, this is the best men's team I think we've ever had. The guys ran great. We had 2 all-conference runners, and Dan Horseman and Tyler Maddox. Tyler led the men's team at the conference race. Dan was right at his shoulder, and that's the way it's been going all year long. One of them wins, and the other one's right there behind, just behind. Our top 5 guys ran great. Everyone ran very well, and again, it's just the quality of the competition in the Peach Belt Conference and cross country is just phenomenal. That's always remained our goal, to try to get in the top 2 or 3, but every year that we improve, it seems as though everybody else in the conference does too.
So your top 2 both get all-conference. First time that's happened for us, I believe, since 2007. And both of those guys, you mentioned Dan Horseman and Tyler Maddox, it's the second time in their career that they've picked up all-conference honors. A couple of seniors for you, and I know they drive that team, and they drive each other pretty well, don't they, Coach?
They really do. I mean, even at practice, the race, practice, they're always just pushing each other, and I think Tyler wouldn't be as good if Dan wasn't pushing him, and Dan wouldn't be as good if Tyler wasn't pushing him. And I think between those 2, they've really pushed the entire team. I mean, I know that there were fellows that ran over the summer a lot more than they normally would have, simply because of Tyler and Dan running so well last year. And we have a lot of seniors, and seniors have a lot of pride. They want to go out with a great year, and they all worked very hard over the summer. And it showed when they got here in the fall. And like I say, they ran our whole men's team ran a great race. It's just that there's some real quality runners in the Peach Belt Conference.
Sounds like a theme you're
really
trying to get across here. Okay, well, let's look forward to the weekend. We're going to head to Charlotte, North Carolina. Queens University is hosting the NCAA Southeast Regional this year. And I think this is the second straight year that you guys have been running up there as well, so you know the course and all that sort of thing. Let's take a look at the women's side. Who's going to be making that trip, first of all, Coach, if we can remember all 7? And,
oh, gosh.
And then secondly, I'm going to put you on the spot there. And then secondly, what sort of hopes do you have for the squad? I know that some new illnesses have also come up this week.
It's going to be the same 7 that went to conference, and I'll try and remember the names. Allison Loans is going to go, Rebecca Shane, Chris Ekstrom, Victoria Dobson, that's 4, Katie Tinka, Madeline McCann, and Ashton Pacino. I got 7.
First try.
All of them are going to go, again, the same conference team is going to go up. That's part of cross country, is that the season's long and people you wear them out. And you try not to do that. We've tried to front load our season, and on the back end try to provide enough rest and stuff. But as anyone who's watching knows, these are college kids, and they're busy with schoolwork, and this is a real tough time of the semester with exams and papers and all that. So we're getting them up early in the morning and having them run, and then they're burning the midnight oil with their schoolwork. It's quite a juggling act for these kids, and they've done a phenomenal job. But I mean, they're a little bit, I think they're tired more than anything, and I think it's, the season's almost ready to end, and I think everyone's ready for it to end. So that's where we are right now.
All right. Well, before we get to the guys, let's talk a little bit about the practice schedule that you do put together. I had the joy of joining you yesterday for a cold morning as we had a video crew on campus. 7:15 in the a.m. Is the typical start for you guys.
This time of year it is, because it doesn't get light until about 7:30.
Okay.
So we usually get together around 7:15 and stand out there and freeze.
And earlier in the year it's like a 6:15.
6:30ish is about as early as we can get the sun up during the school year.
Tell me a little bit about the rationale behind that. Is it temperature? Is it class schedules? Is it just to see what you're going to have? If a kid will get up that early, they're going to give you their best.
Well,
right?
you know, runners are dedicated when they're willing to get up that time, especially on mornings like yesterday when it was pretty cold. But part of it is the class schedule. They run better, as we've mentioned about Dan and Tyler. If you go out and run on your own, you tend not to push. If you go out and run with someone on your team, there is that competition that makes everyone work a little bit harder. And the only way we can get our teams out there all together is if we do it before class time. So we encourage and we try to, every way we can, make sure that no one takes an 8 o'clock class. So both teams, men's and women's teams, except for on odd occasions. As you've mentioned in the past, we have a number of nursing students in our program. And the nursing students, for example, Carissa, right now, she has a couple of days a week she has to go to the hospital, and usually those are like 7 o'clock starts, so she can't make practice on those days. But other than that, no one takes a class until 9 o'clock, and that way we know we've got them free. Early in the season, we start around 6:30, and they're on their way by 7:30, 20 minutes to 8. They can go have breakfast, go shower, and go to class. This time of year, they just go right from practice, basically, to class and make that 9 o'clock class.
Tell me about the guys. What 7 you take in there, and what do you think you'll get out of them?
Same 7 as conference. It would be Tyler and Dan and Colin Conroy and let's see, Tucker Forbes, Philip Lasky, Rob Manning, and am I forgetting anyone? Did I get 7? I apologize. Travis Knight. Travis Knight would be the 7th. And same group. They ran a great race for us on last Saturday in Aiken, and I expect no less this Saturday. As I said before, 5 of these guys are seniors, and they want to go out with a blaze. So they're going to give us everything. I usually tell cross-country runners when we get to regionals that we have a long off season, because after this date in November, we don't get back until next August. But for our seniors, the off season is going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be forever. So they're going to leave everything they've got up there on that course. It's a 10K for the guys, and this is the only time we have a 10K for the guys. They're in shape to do it, but as I said, the season's been long, and we're resting them today. This is Thursday. We're resting them today. We're going to have a drive day up to Charlotte tomorrow with just a little bit we'll go out and maybe take a look at the course if they want. We'll preview the course, jog the course, but they've seen the course since we were there last year. But we're trying to take a little bit of rest the last couple of days, and then everyone will be ready on Saturday, hopefully.
Okay, sounds good to me. Now, I know at practice yesterday you talked about no watches on the race on Saturday. You're focusing on just lay it all out there.
Yep. Doesn't
matter about your splits. Just go as hard as you can for as long as you can.
Yeah, the NCAA regulates the regional meet. They ban watches. They don't allow watches. Certain jewelry is not allowed, and there is an inspection at the line. And our guys are. It's often funny when you're watching a finish on a race. There's a big clock over the finish line, yet kids come running in looking at their watch on their wrist. They're so used to running with their watch, and I think you may have heard the groans when we said no watches, because if they can't check their time, they're not. But we do interval training a lot during the season, and if I were to say to Tyler or Dan, go out and run a mile in this time, they'll hit it within 5 or 6, 7 seconds. Nice. They're ready. They know what their times are going to be. And also the NCAA, according to the guidelines that we were sent, will provide some split times. Probably won't be as much as the kids want, but there'll be some split times on the course. But like I say, it's their first time at a 10K. They may try to adjust a little bit, but I don't think the extra 2 kilometers is going to make a difference.
So there you go. If you need to make a meal and you don't have a timer anywhere, just grab a cross-country runner from Georgia College, and he can run out and back in the time it takes you to make mac and cheese or something like that. All right, so let's look to GCBobcats.com for the results on Saturday. For head coach Joe Samproni, it's Al Weston for the Bobcat Coach's Corner.